SVP was important too. And now he's saying low value. I
right?
think I think what he's doing is he's adjusting to the market conditions, so he's fucking with the strategy to adapt.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because that's what also made me feel like I'm not reviewing Bookmap enough, because he's like, when he goes into Bookmap, he's looking at things that he never really mentioned before, and I'm like, this guy always reviews his Bookmap, so he's like always just adjusting to what he's seen more consistently over and over again. And this time he said that when orders come down into limit orders on Bookmap, he's realizing that if the if the bubble isn't matching the same or isn't higher than the limit order, it tends to bounce. And it just seemed like he mentioned it like something he almost kind of just realized in a sense.
I wonder I wonder how good he sees Bookmap compared to us. Because
Well, he
because when I review Bookmap, I kind of don't know what to look for.
yeah. Um One thing I did realize though, because I was rewatching Bookmap yesterday, and I feel like what he's doing is like comparing days of like he's like, okay, this day this happened, then the next day this happened, then the next day this happened, and then he starts to see patterns and like, okay, throughout the week this was happening. Because last week I was realizing that in the beginning of the week we weren't seeing super large orders. They were like consistent 500 lots, and it
Yeah,
was moving fast. It was like just very volatile, but not super large orders. And then this week, I realized that there was larger orders, but it was still super fast. So like,
yeah,
and then compared to when we were initially trading during like Biden's administration, it was like super large orders that would come in randomly or like at key levels, but it wouldn't bounce super aggressive. Like it would just be 10 points, 20 points max. But now Carmine is saying he did like a voice chat recently where he was like, 20 points has become the new 10 points in this current market.
yeah. That little voice memo he sent or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, I agree. Because it's just the market change. We gotta like figure something out.
yeah, for sure.
So then that probably goes
Um,
with risk too, huh? Like your stops, like our 2 point stops, might have to have a little more risk on them.
Yeah,
Because all of my short stops have been like all these trades have been going in my favor, but after stopping me out for 2 points or 3 points.
But even then, like, you don't wanna just commit to that statement until you review Bookmap and really see it happening, because, yeah, this week or next week, it may be a thing, but then 3 weeks from now, market, conditions may slightly change, and you could possibly go back to having 2 to 4 point stop losses. So that's why I'm saying like the importance of reviewing Bookmap or just order flow in general is so key, because of, yeah, we look at charts 2 times a day, because in the morning we watch the charts, and then at night we chart our levels again. But if you really think about it, price action is what we look at the least, because unless you're reviewing Bookmap every day, uh, you only see price action when you're watching the market live. And I think that is like one of the most key components to the strategy.
so Bookmap's the only way we can do that then, right?
Yeah. Because looking at the chart, you just see candles. You're not seeing the actual action of the price at levels. Whereas with Bookmap, you see when it hits my level, it's stalling for a bit, or when it hits my level, it instantly bounces. So then you're getting an idea of how volatile or not volatile the market is, and you could adjust to that just by memory, just like your mind just having a feel for it, and just actually knowing like what's happening at the current in my current market conditions. And
I
I feel
think
like
on I think on
since
Bookmap you could put the candles overlaid on the bubbles.
That's tight.
Let me think.
But I mean, still, you got to review Bookmap.
Yeah,
But I feel like since Trump got in office, I kind of fell off on reviewing Bookmap as much as I was. I
why
was
do you
more
think?
focused. I was one. I know I like got a little lazy with reviewing Bookmap. Like I could just sense it. But I also was like more focused on like, are my levels right? Like, am I looking at structure right? Which I don't think was a bad idea because I do feel like paying attention to structure helped me. But now I'm like, oh shit, like I gotta go back to reviewing Bookmap though.
Yeah, for sure. I just don't know what to look for. I will review Bookmap, but I'll review my trades, and that would be it. I'm not really looking back at the whole day trying to see what price action is doing. I think I need to do that.
I think it just goes because even what's his name Umar, he said in a post, he was like, "Don't just look at the trades you took, look at the trades you missed." So it's
Yeah.
like if you have a key level and you missed a trade, like I was just looking at one from Monday on the 31st, this Monday that I missed. Um, and it's like if the setup was there and you missed it, like review why you missed it or what was it that caused you to miss it.
Fucking scared.
Was it strictly book? Was it strictly Bookmap while you missed it, or were you able to go back to the charts and see that maybe there was a what do you call it, the basing candle or something?
I mean, I'm looking at the chart right now and it's a drop-based drop, and I missed that, and then every my 2 trades after that were just me trying to make up for that loss. I mean, that miss basically. Like I didn't even take the trade, but I still got emotional because I didn't take the opportunity.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah, I
I
reviewed
already
for the
got
first
the
time this week, and the one thing I was looking at on Bookmap was the low volume nodes and how price reacts to those. And I just been paying attention to like SVP and how those numbers are like growing when price is near them, and then like what causes them to cause like some low volume, but then they get to areas with a lot of volume. And I just did one review, so obviously I try not to come up with theories, but then I was noticing there was this huge section of no volume, and I was just noticing how price was like, yeah, I want to kind of fix that up. I took it as in like, oh, price wants to even that out. And so it was kind of hard to want to take. I took some, I think, and I lost, but it was hard to like be like, I think I shouldn't be taking what you call trades in this no volume node, especially if it hasn't cleared the whole section. Because I was noticing areas where there was like a lot of no volume for like, let's say maybe 6 numbers. I mean, yeah, 6 points. And when it was coming back from a place of high volume, coming back to the low volume to like kind of, just get more orders placed in that area, it was taking its time, like really loading up that whole empty area of like, let's get this evened out. Like it wasn't jumping out of that area fast, creating the low volume still. I don't even know if I'm making
Was
sense.
there an outlier there though?
Let me open my shit.
Because even though it's low value, you still want to see an outlier. Like I just have where the fuck is my window options? Oh, change. So right here, like at 55.64, can you guys see both chart and Bookmap?
Yeah.
This is the drop base drop here, and then I had this lineup here showing the pre-market consolidation. I don't know why I forgot to put pre-market low unless it was higher, but then I mean pre-market high and then pre-market low down here. So this area in pre-market was consolidation to me. And then 55.64, which is right above my demand here. there is a 1,000 lot outlier, and within we popped back up to it. And look, see how I hate how it goes away. Here's the 1,000 lot at 55.60, and look at the volume here. It's smaller than where the large volume SVP is. So that's the setup that Carmine usually that has lately been talking about. But he says when it comes up to it, it has to reject it fast, or else that means prices like buyers are still trying to push higher. If it rejects it some pretty fast, then that means sellers are still in control and trying to push it lower. And I did want to take it, I just got scared, which is why on Friday I took the trade I took because it was this exact same thing that happened basically.
Did
It
it work?
pops up.
Uh,
Yeah, it worked.
like what constitutes like a fast rejection like that?
That's what that's what I feel like I still need to watch order flow again or rewatch order flow to get a feel for what is fast rejection at this with these current conditions. I mean, it does seem like it did it pretty fast, but I'm on X8.
Oh yeah, it'll be normal. Because even
I
on
mean,
X8, it didn't seem that fast.
I know. But we are at that low volume node here. 55.60, 63 was the outlier. It's rejecting it here.
Because it also looks like weak selling, so I don't know how to interpret.
Yeah, I get you with that. But this buying here doesn't seem very it wasn't super fast, and two, it's not like very strong compared to this selling. But you legit only had this try here or this try probably. This little pop.
I would for sure be super
Scared as
anxious and yeah, scared as fuck in this yeah, for sure. Because the selling doesn't look strong at all
Let
either,
me
man.
see that CVD actually. So the CVD is negative 4,000 right here. And on the buying, does it decrease? Because if it doesn't decrease on the buying, then that means sellers are still like in super control.
When CVD is negative, what does that mean? Or yeah, I still don't know how to read that.
So like right now, if buying is stepping in, you want to see the CVD start decreasing because then that means buyers are starting to be in control. But it's staying in the negative 4,000 as buyers are still pushing price higher. So to me, that's telling me uh, sellers are still very much in control. Usually, if buyers start to step in, I seen this yesterday when I was rewatching, the negative 4,000 starts to just go up or go down to like the negative thousands. The it starts to like almost start to go green when it gets very strong buyers stepping in again. But look at how buying is stepping in, and it's still around the negative 4,000, negative 3,000 range. It's not really decreasing. So I'd say with this specific trade, the thing that would be my confirmations is that it hit that outlier that we've seen at the 1,000 lots. It has the low SVP node. The CVD
Hey,
never.
that low P node, can you make a claim that it tested the high volume?
That's what I'm saying. That I feel the exact same way because I was rewatching it and I was like, bro, it kind of taps the higher value.
Yeah, I'm like,
But wouldn't it
I
make
don't know.
sense that it would? Like even if it works, it would tap it for a little bit, And maybe that's why the volatility takes it to the high volume, but it still wants to clear up the low volume first.
Wait, say that
So, because you guys are
again?
saying if the price dropped like crazy, so it has to come back up to like fill in the orders that it missed because it dropped so fast, and so it's testing all of
Yeah.
that low volume node. And then are you guys saying that it goes through the low volume, but then it also taps where the high volume's at?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if there's so much volatility, because that's where I've been setting a lot of my stops, close to the high volume, thinking, well, it just needs to clear up the low volume, not the high volume, so I'll set the stop close to the high volume. But then the volatility, I feel like I said, it's been like going through my stops, but then going in my favor, the trade. And so I'm just like, is that just volatility? And that's why my excuse has been, I kept saying, like, I think the volatility messed me up.
Well, that's why it's so confusing. That's why it's so hard, because it could be volatility, but could be other things too. We're trying to figure that out. And 5560, like, is also kind of like high value, right? Or no? Would you consider that? I mean, it's higher volume. Yeah.
But prior to it, I don't think it had it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, never mind. But I think, I don't know, I'm kind of confused on the tapping.
I mean, I get why you're confused, because I see what you're talking about also. But like, if you really like, the high volume starts at like 64. It really rejects right where this low volume is.
Yeah, I guess you're right when you zoom in.
But that's why I'm saying we gotta rewatch Bookmap a lot more, because these little intricacies that we gotta like really adapt to.
And right there where it's
'Cause, yeah,
rejecting, is it rejecting an outlier? Or just a high
yeah,
volume?
there was a 60 at 5560. There was 1,000 lots.
You count that zooming out that much?
No, that was too much. But see, this is where I'd get confused. I see it at 5564, and earlier I seen it at 5560.
Dude, I see that all the time.
So then I guess
That
you should
shit
look at
confuses
the.
the hell out of me.
And especially when price is coming up to it, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But let's see.
That shit has fucked up my entries so many times.
But what does SVP look like at that outlier? Because then you can kind of get a better understanding of what outlier it is when the SVP volume is there.
What outlier?
We just did that, didn't we?
Well, I'm saying if you found an
Yeah.
outlier, then just match it with the SVP volume.
Oh,
Did we do
yeah,
that?
yeah. But he's saying like in the future.
Like right now,
Yeah.
can't
Like
you do that?
if you see the 5564 outlier and then you zoom in a different way and you see it at 5560, it's like, is it matching the SVP with the thin volume, or are you looking at the one with the high volume?
I think it'd be high value, right?
Well, yeah, that's why. But like when you zoom in more, and then it kind of separates the big bubbles, and then you're like, wait, which outlier was it? Because it separates them. Then I think right there is when you go to the SVP volume to make your decision.
Okay. I get it. That's smart.
And this wicks at 5562. Damn, does it, or is this the 62? Ah, shit, I lost the chart. Ah, shit. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. Yeah, this thing drops.
How much are you guys looking at trades that you want to take, and then when you see it's not going the way you predicted it would, like, are you already focusing on the trend, or what trend is it on now? Like, let's say you were bearish and you're like, I think it's going to go down, but then do you are you guys have like the skill developed yet to where you're like, oh, I think the trend's changed. It's not going down anymore. Like within like 30 minutes to an hour, like can you guys make those decisions? Because like from six
Nah,
thirty to
I
7, the first 15 minutes is all downtrending. And then the second 15 minutes of that half hour, it's all up.
Yeah, that's that volatility shit I gotta adapt to.
Yeah, I haven't been liking my decision making, and I haven't been liking my zones either.
NQ rallies here. That's a different day.
Did Carmine say he took any trades
I thought
yesterday?
I had what?
Did Carmine say that he took any trades yesterday?
I don't think he did. Fuck. I took a trade on this day at I took a looking for a retest of 55.52. Give me a sec. 52 and 7.15. I took a short and a long at 6.52. I took a short. What the fuck? Oh, this. That was stupid.
I see rewind. Is this the same day we've been looking at?
Yeah.
So then rewind it to where before you came up with your plan to take that trade, and then let's look at SVP and all that. And then as the market's going and you're trying to come up with your plan. So right now, what makes you want to take, or has anything made you want to take that short yet?
So I was looking at, I was seeing it as aggressive selling. So I had pre-market low at 55.52 here, which is the level I was looking at, and then I was seeing this as intraday support. But in this situation, I was actually looking at the large SVP, and I hadn't watched Carmine's video yet, so I was still looking at large SVP as my as like a level of interest in a sense. And when it pops up to 55.52 here, I seen aggressive buyer step in, and I think it was struggling.
So no outliers, right?
I guess not.
And then you took
I was just using this right here. Plus, it was pre-market low, and then we had dropped under, so I wanted to see a pop. Wait, is that even?
yeah.
What was the time? 6:52. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So it was a pop into this. It was this candle. But the buying was way too aggressive for me to. It was a dumb trade. It was very low quality. The buying was super aggressive on this pop. There was no outlier. It just wasn't a good.
And it jumped into a bunch of volume, or was that volume already there on the SVP?
It popped into that value. See, this is the 55.
Yeah, I think
52.
I don't know how correct this theory is, but I've been trying to study this stuff. I'm like, I don't think we're supposed to take trades in the high volume, because once it gets back into the high volume, I think we have to wait to let it see what it's going to do there, because clearly that's an area where price is important, and we have to kind of like wait in that range to see what the next move is going to be.
But trades have been working.
But like, I think for now, you should have taken a long into that high volume, not take a short when you're in the volume. Especially with no outlier.
Said it, and when prices has high volume here, that means that buyers and sellers were basically negotiating where they want price to go. When there's low volume, that means that, say like on this pop or on this sell off, sellers are like, say there was a large outlier here and there was low volume and it sells off and then it pops back into it, then that's an area where sellers are in control because clearly there's no volume of buyers and sellers fighting for price here, and there's just a huge outlier there. That that means sellers are fully in control there. Whereas if the outliers over here in large volume, that's an area where buyers and sellers were having a tug of war. So you could get stuck in chop there. Not that it's not possible of working, but there's also a possibility that you could get stuck in chop there.
But that's where you took your trade, right?
Yeah, but I also didn't have a sense of that. Yeah, I hadn't learned that idea.
Okay. Because yeah,
You split your SVP now?
yeah,
What?
I did too.
Yeah,
Oh, you what the fuck?
but this after I seen Carmine's video because I seen he had a split,
Same.
and I remember I had put it together because I was able to see that when price was built up better, but when it's stacked on top of each other, I can't see the low volume as good.
What's a friggin' node, bro?
These things.
I know what it is on like a book map volume of SVP, but I'm like, what is that word and why did they choose to use node?
Oh, I don't know. You gotta ask Webster.
I'm looking it up, but then yeah, that's it helped me when I split it to see the nodes better. I was just trying to find that answer before I told Gabe, but like I just see like those big empty circle areas.
Gabe, see how price came aggressively into it, and then here it starts to chop a little, and it's right where the high volume is.
Yeah, but that's only one example. I'm telling you, the trades I took before were working on that. That's because I was specifically looking for a high volume SVP. I mean, that's what all our trades were mostly based on. You were taking trades based off that.
Yeah, but do you see my fucking journal?
But I'm curious, are you taking trades where are some of your trades where there's high volume SVP? Is there any volume above or below those areas that have transacted?
Say that again.
Like right now, we're in this middle range where there's a lot of volume. And then there's volume above it all the way up until 55, 75, and there's volume below it up until 35. Like when you guys take trades at high volume SVP, I think there's a clear vision if there's nothing transacted above it. Because if there's nothing transacted above it, then it's kind of telling you, oh, price maybe doesn't really want to test those areas yet. But if there isn't anything above it, but there is high volume at the SVP that you're going to, then you can make a better decision of like, well, price doesn't even care about those prices up there because there's nothing up there. But when there is something up there, then it's like, wait, maybe I shouldn't take the trade because even though we're in the high volume node, price still might want to get back up to that volume where it's transacted earlier.
Dude, is it just me or are you talking really fast?
I don't know what the fuck.
Was I talking fast?
You're either using big ass words or you're talking fast.
I'm sober.
You're coming with like the hard hitting questions. I gotta think on this shit.
I know.
Watch. Go back to where we were in the volume in the middle of at the 55s. Rewind it a little bit. I don't have images right now to prove this theory. I'm just curious because this is also, it goes with how I see trades for my target. So you're a little above it, but like, let's say like, okay, we're in this area right now and above 56 and on, if there's no volume transacted in the SVP, to me, the area that we're in where there's high volume right now would still work for shorts. But because there is transacted volume above that, I have to be careful because price still might want to test those areas. But
wait, but how do you know price doesn't want to go higher just because there's no value?
No, it's not a guarantee that it doesn't, but it's kind of more like, well, since the open market hasn't tested those areas, so I shouldn't be long biased. or bullish, because there's no reason to think price wants to go there if it hasn't been there all day. At least if there's heavy volume. I mean, obviously other things need to align, but I'm just, because you know how when, let's say when you're in a trade, and I think we talked about this last week, where okay, you have a target, like let's say you short right here where you're at the 55s, and then your target happens to be the bottom of SVP volume, which is the 35s, and then when it's going, like are you
slow down.
oh shit. So you take a short right here at the 55s, and then it starts going in your favor, it's going down. Your target ideally would be the 35s. Not ideally, but let's just say your target is the 35s. And then, but you might want to exit right away because it hit your target, or are you going to look at the volume tails and be like, wait, well, that volume tail keeps growing and it keeps pushing a little bit. That's the visual of seeing that, oh, participants want to test these new prices.
I mean, once you got a plan, you got to stick with your plan.
But I'm saying, but it's worked where I'm like, yeah, it hit my target, but it didn't give me any reason to exit because I'm seeing it like wanting to go past my target. Because you can see that visually on the SVP volume tails. Like you could kind of see it growing a little bit. And it's like, oh, look, like right now it's where it says 34 at the bottom of the SVP volume. When you see that 34 grow a little bit, you're like, oh, someone's testing it. And then underneath that 34, you'll see a 1, meaning, oh, someone just put in a new order at this new price. And then that
Like,
kind of...
I get what you're saying, but ultimately that's your emotions. It's FOMO.
You
know what I mean? Like,
no, but it's FOMO for your target. Like if you don't want to exit your trade, but I'm talking about entering a trade where you're kind of like, well, there's no volume above that price, so why would I go longs? Because that should be a reason to not want to enter longs because no one's testing these untested areas. No one's.
Oh yeah, you're right. Especially when it's a volume tail. I think Carmine said, once it's a volume tail and price reaches it, it usually reverses there because there's no orders to transact.
So that's why I'm saying if you guys took a trade in this 55 area with all that volume above it, I don't think you should be short biased because you don't know what price is going to do in that high volume area. Because even though it's transacting there, it's like, well, we have to wait to see if it's going to want to go up or down because there's volume that it's willing to go to because it's done it in the pre-market. And that's why I'm just speaking more of like when we're coming up with our plan, it's like, well, we have to be careful of coming up with shorts in that area because look at the volume above it.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to wait for a reaction. Yeah, I mean, even if I had a plan at that area and I was short biased, I would still have to wait for the reaction to see if my thing was correct, my analysis. So just
I don't know if I was hearing y'all saying like you would have just
even on this, like if you this is tough, but there's an 800 lot. Why doesn't it show the 1,000 lots up? 5552 shows 1,000 lots here, a buyer, and then if you zoom out, 5552. It's right at the SVP though. I mean, right at the beginning, but it pulls back into 5550 where the low volume is. So from like 5552 to like 5550, you could say say you were building a long plan here because you see the 1,000 lot outlier appear at 5552, let's say. Obviously, you can't expect price to just hit 5552 and take off because you got to wait for how it reacts to it. But if you zoom out, you'd be like, oh, there's large volume here. So right at 5552, I don't really want to I wanted to break a little lower into this low volume and instantly pop to show me that sellers don't want to keep dropping price lower. So even in this sense where you see the large outlier, it pulls back into an area of low volume before it keeps taking off, rather than pulling back into that area of high value.
Oh shit, is that why you think it keeps hitting our stops before it goes our way?
Yeah, I think
Possibly.
we're taking it too early in the volume, and it's like it might be a bullish sign, but we need to see it reject underneath the high volume first, or we're rejecting the volume. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
normally I would have been like, okay, I don't want price to break under this SVP because then the wall's broken basically. But
Yeah.
now the way that Carmine's explaining it is like, no, you want it to break slightly under into the low volume, but instantly pop back up so that it shows that buyers still want to keep pushing higher.
And then I'm sure
But
you
how?
guys. Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, and then if you look before 6:45, where that tip is, like at the beginning of this photo of the book map, like the very that one right there, like that's now like that was resistance and now it's support. Like, or I'm sure y'all already saw that.
Oh, because I was gonna ask. That's a good point, dude. Because I was gonna ask. My question was, how deep into the low volume does it have to go? But I totally forgot about zones.
Because it did tap that former resistance before it took off.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
I'm going live tomorrow. Fuck it.
Good morning.
But then I'm a demo again on Monday.
I want to see if it comes back into this area. But I need to see. I was hoping the outlier would appear here.
Damn, why was I talking fast, guys? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're talking super fast.
It's the coffee.
Oh yeah.
I did shower and stuff. Because the last couple of reviews we did on Sunday, I would just wake up, brush my teeth, and go to my computer. And
So you're ready for the day already, huh?
yeah, shower wakes me up.
Shit. Yeah, I got a
It
shower
doesn't.
after this too.
I don't think it comes back. Oh, maybe it does. But it wasn't a significant outlier.
But at this point, you guys have already changed your bias on the trend, right? Intraday.
55.67. I mean, yeah, at this point, I'd be like, okay, market probably wants to test pre-market highs because we're like around here. Or high a day for sure. Is this the pullback? Or is that the one from earlier?
That was
Ah, did I speed up too?
yeah. Where when it's touching VWAP, that's where we were at earlier in the 55s. Well, it's just moved on, and yeah, that's the little pullback we're at right now.
Oh, it does pull back to the low value.
So it rushed up.
So he's looking this at the. I wish it was a larger outlier though. I mean, 874 at 55.61. We have low volume there. So say you want to take the market long still. Obviously, you're not going to chase it. You wanted to pull back into this low volume 55.61 area, and it looks like it does it. There's the pullback.
Underneath the heavy
Back
volume.
62. Right here, 61. Right at the low volume. Sellers are trying.
Oh, I'd be so nervous right there.
Fuck yeah. But it does it.
I know it does work.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
takes off.
worked.
And it got
Damn.
underneath the high volume first, tested the lows, and like just underneath the high volume.
Yeah. That's 3 times it worked today on this day, basically.
All right, low volume it is. Low volume it is. I'm sorry I fought you guys on it.
20. All right, well, I'm gonna go April 1st.
I didn't take any trades this day.
Hey, I'm trying to split my SVP too. How do I do that?
Go to configure.
I did configure column and then split display and then closed it, but nothing.
Wait, what do you mean? Did you save it? Because you have your workspace saved.
What do you mean? Did I save it? I didn't save anything.
I think you have to save
When
the settings.
Your workspace. Well, I'm not on the actual one.
So I'm opening it to see if I can.
Oh, bookmap's not even. Bookmap's not even on. That's why the price isn't there. I can't see the value. Never mind. I probably did it.
You have checked split display and inverse display?
Yeah, I did it. I think I did it.
Okay.
I just realized that price isn't showing because it's closed.
You're like tapping your screen on the side, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
He was about to hit up bookmap chat.
Yeah.
Where's the volume at?
Like, Elo, you've been having these problems too, right?
So this day looks like the first few minutes it chopped a bit. I have resistance at 56.51. So up here, where it sells off from. And then at 56.02 it bounces. $700 lots right here. $600. Where's that 56.51?
It reverses right there.
Oh look, Eloy, this is what you were talking about.
Yeah, so
no value.
We shouldn't be long biased there just yet. But you guys said you already know that. Where I mean, I think I might have taken some bad trades in that exact area where I was like, it has to be.
I don't even see 56.51 tap. Oh, it doesn't fully tap it. Damn, it doesn't leave any outlier.
Those are the worst ones with no outliers.
I'm still a little confused with that zooming in process because, yeah, the way it splits the outliers sometimes annoys me.
Yeah, for sure.
Eric is finding outliers super zoomed out on both axes.
This one's tough. SVP, I can't tell if that would be considered low val. I mean, it's still in that chop range though, so it's not really a good area.
So, like in a moment like this, let's say we're here in the market, we shouldn't be interested in trades just yet, and then that where the volume is transacted, it's not a lot of points to like see something go super good in our favor.
Oh, this is news. There was news this day? What's first?
There was
Yeah.
ISM, and Jolts at the same time.
See that? Gabriel, didn't you take this short?
Oh yeah, I did. Mentally though.
See, what's tough for me here is that it is rejecting a key level. So take I'd want to be interested in the short, but obviously there's news coming out, so that's scary. Um, there is this 900 lot outlier, but I can't really read the SVP as good as I'd want to. It would be hard for me to enter this, especially knowing that there's 7 a.m. news coming out.
This might be a random question, but what time do you guys open your book map at?
5.
5:30.
And so, Gabe, if you open it at 5, what data does it give you before that? Like what time?
5?
So it doesn't go beyond 5?
No.
What the fuck? I get
I
like
think-
4 a.m. information.
Well, maybe I don't zoom out all the way.
But I'm only asking that because, like on the charts, you can see that price was above 51. If you look at your chart, Eric, before that, like at 4 whatever time, yeah. So, but on Bookmap, you can't see any volume transacted there, and that's why I'm
Oh
wondering.
yeah, it saves only the time from when I open, but when I actually open it, if it'll show me 4 a.m. prices. So when I opened it, I probably did see volume up here.
I'm opening my replay for last
Yeah, but
Friday.
the replay is only gonna save from when you open. It's not gonna show you the data from prior you opening. But when you initially open it, it'll show you that data like an hour prior.
Because like
Oh, that's right. That's why I think it's 5 then.
I'm wondering if there's data above 50s right there to show you something that we're missing out on.
I might have images of my.
I might have to just wake up early just to open Bookmap and go back to sleep. It's my new making the coffee routine.
Actually, it doesn't show data above that. See? And this is the first. Huh. I might have woken up late that day though. Oh fuck my shit. Oh, here's some low volume. What price is this? 56.17. Right under pre-market low. But there's no outlier. It drops into 56.02. Oh, 1,000 lots right here. Ah, fuck. Why does that happen? It disappears? What the fuck?
Dun, dun.
56.19 as a, let me actually, it pops up. $656.20, building up. Low SVP there. Of course, when I zoom in, it leaves.
Does Carmine ever talk about that? Like when he sees a outlier, but then the zooming in thing confuses him?
No, I think that's why he uses the DOM though, because it stays there.
Mhm.
When are we
56,
when are we gonna chip in for the Dom and then just live stream it so we could all see it?
Here's the pop into the 56, 19, 56, 20.
Wait, are you looking for shorts or longs?
Shorts down to 56.02. Here's the low SVP. So this is a when I'm zoomed in, it doesn't show it, but this was 1,000 lots at 56.19, 56.20. It pulls back to 56.15, and then it's popping back into it where there's low SVP, knowing that there's a 56.02 demand down here. So I think it's this one right here. What is that? 705? Yeah. So this is 7.
So you wanted to retest around 56.22?
This right here. Yeah. But I think it stops at 56.20. Oh no, it goes. Oh no, it doesn't. I don't know. Yeah, it stops at 20. Don't like how this outlier is. It's kind of like not very
It's hit or miss.
sticking
Yeah.
out. But it does have an outlier. It pops into it, low SVP, and it rejects down to demand. And it was also pre-market low here. Prior support from pre-market. That one's tough. The move is kind of overextended in this case, but I mean, it worked. What's the next one? Does it have an outlier of 56.02? Nope. 900 lots at 56.07. Popped up, pulled back, 56.06. 5, 10, 15. So it still pulls back a little more in the next candle. So here, just because I seen the outlier, I wouldn't start getting ready for a long because I know that I have a 30-minute demand at 56.02. So I'd want to see it touch that demand at least first and then recapture 56.07. Plus we have this heavy orders. I don't even know if that's orders though. I think it might be the algo.
I never think about the recapture. Like to recapture an outlier to use as a long if you're going to.
I'll only do it in this case where the demand is sitting right under the outlier.
Oh, okay. And it touched the demand? Oh, yeah, it did.
See here, now it popped up above the outlier. Now I want to see a pullback to hold it.
Do you still want that 4 to 6 point pullback, or you just want it like a little pullback?
No, I'd prefer a nice, good pullback. And in the recaptures, it is harder because if it pops up aggressively, it does this little thing, and sometimes I do miss it. But I don't know if it comes back here. 56.15. It comes back to 56.09. The outlier's at 56.07.
Look at where the high volume is, though.
I was just thinking that. Let's come back. What the fuck? Oh, here it comes. See, this is where I get a little like annoyed because if you think about it, this is a although we have this outlier here, this whole area could be where price is trying to hold above, you know?
Yeah,
So like it could really hit anywhere from this top box to this bottom box and still have support. So
yeah,
sometimes I just want it to hit 5607 and it ends up popping before, which it does in this case. But now that you mentioned that there's high volume here, so I would maybe want it to not hit the high volume and just hold slightly above the high volume, showing me that buyers are want to fight down here. They want to just take it from up here.
mm.
That's just something I'm thinking right now
It just,
because it just
I
takes
mean,
off from here.
yeah, I mean that's all you can do, because it's not even quite top of consolidation either. It still passes it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just like any random spot in that zone.
Yeah, that's what's tough. Like, how would you even when it does that pop, how would you be like, this is the aggressive buying I'm waiting for?
What would the risk be right where it reversed?
Six
Uh,
on
your
you're
stop,
probably gonna end up getting filled like at 13, 12, 13.
Yeah.
So you'd put your I'd put my stop at the bottom of the red candle.
yeah,
Is that where that bubble's at? Is that where it reversed?
Yeah, right
Okay.
here.
Damn, I didn't even think of it being the candle.
Five.
I'm telling you, you can overlay the candles on Bookmap, and it'll show you
Are you
what think
supposed
or
to
swing.
adjust? Are you supposed to in the settings like put what time frame of candles you're looking at?
Oh shit, that's a good point. I don't know. I didn't fuck with it.
Check
It
that out.
just
That seems interesting to try.
I'm actually gonna take a picture of this.
Let me know when we're transitioning to something else so I can end this first video.
I think that was it. I mean, we have this low volume here.
Let's see what it does. It goes into it according to the charts. It keeps getting above
struggling.
it.
Shit. It pops back up, isn't it?
Yeah. It actually pops up pretty aggressively for the rest. I don't know about the rest of the day, but the next 30 minutes.
At this point, are you guys developing biases on which way you think the market's going to start going, or no? You don't allow yourself to do that.
I try not to do it, but it happens.
I feel like in the trading for dummies and the other recent video you sent me, book you sent me, Gabe, the guy he was explaining like you gotta like figure out what the trend is, and then obviously it has to be somewhat a couple of minutes. It can't be like, oh, it dropped really fast for 1 minute, that's the trend. It's kind of like you kind of have to see like it's done going down. Like if you didn't take any shorts when the trend was down, then you have to change your bias and like start realizing, okay, we're actually in an uptrend now. So even though it might hit my supply zones, because I think we're in an uptrend now, I have to see longs go in my favor, because at that point you're just allowing better, what is it, like better probabilities because you figured out the trend.
Yeah, the trend is your friend until the end.
I like that.
I think they say it in the book.
He's gonna add it to his rap.
I don't want to be too corny.
When's the rap coming out, dude?
I'm already working on a second one. Like I'm not taking. I want to post it out. I want to post them, but well, the thing
Full
is,
album.
I just don't have a what's it called time to really work on it. Like the freestyling coming up with it is easy. I do that while I'm driving, but to like record it, edit it, which is what I want to do, I'm taking my time.
Make a beat for him, Eric.
I already got beats
Hit him.
too.
I want to record you.
I go to YouTube and get free beats.
Are they even good?
Y'all are gonna like it. I think it's gonna. Like, I don't know if you scroll through my Instagram and look at my other freestyles, Gabe, but your boy can spit.
Oh, dude.
He said your boy can spit.
Dude. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna rate them.
And then the reason I want this one to look cooler because I haven't posted in like over a year, and all of my original freestyles that I used to post on Instagram, like it was just me straight up playing the beat in the background, and I'll just start freestyling like in selfie mode in front of my phone. But this time I wanted to get a little more production on it, and like I'm even like making sure. I'm gonna end this video, but I'm even making sure I'm not messing up my lines. Like I want everything to sound crisp and clear.